we've got Emmy in. We'd best we take her out. She's being noisy. Hello, everyone. We are finally back online.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we've got to move. I'm hogging the camera.
We are. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Hello, India Mara.
Jeff.
Nice to see you on Saturday.
India Mara. Is that right? Have I got it? India Mara.
It's so good to see you on Saturday, and thank you so much for your welcome to country. It said shivers down our spine.
Wow, it was amazing. Yeah, so we've been at Dubbo on the weekend, and 2 weeks ago we were just getting back from Germany, Prague, and Scotland. And then it all went to shit in a handbasket. But we're back. We're back tonight. And thank you to all those beautiful people who have sent such lovely messages. For those who don't know, my dad passed away a week ago. It was sort of a shock, but not a shock, if you know what I mean. He was 90. He had a good innings, and he got very sick. We put him into hospital, and we were at the stage that he was going to have to go into a home. He'd been in his own home for all his life, and the one thing he was dreading was going into a home, and he fell asleep and passed away. So awful, but it's a good death. It's a good death, good life. And I'm just finding now.
Send Anne some hearts, by the way.
Thank you.
Send her some hearts.
Thank you.
Because she's still feeling it. She's feeling it a lot.
I'm still feeling it. He was all I had left, apart from my husband and the kids. But I mean, parent-wise, he was the last of my family. Thank you, everyone. Holding it together, okay, but it's tough. Yeah, and I found out there were so many charities he was donating to. So many. They knew him for a soft touch. I've been having to ring them all and saying, I'm very sorry he has passed.
Oh, dear.
My husband is awesome, or was that autism? I think that you misspelled that. Probably no. He is on the spectrum. We love him dearly. He is a very, very clever man. So yeah.
Except when it comes to drying his clothes after he's washed them by hand. Oh my God!
Renata learned of my frustration of my gorgeous husband whilst we were in the traveling together, because the only way we could afford for all of us to do this trip was if we all shared one room. And
awkward? No, it was no.
He just wanders around his undies all the time. I was mortified.
So used to it.
And he'd come out with just a towel on. I'm going, you can't do this when Renata's here.
Oh, I'm too old to get excited about that stuff anyway, so there you go.
Oh, thank you, Crystal. I've missed being on. So yeah, bit of a shit time for the last 2 weeks, but my dad had organised things quite well as well. He didn't want a funeral, thank heavens. He just wanted to be cremated, and we're having a wake. We're having a party next week. We're going to get drunk. We were supposed to do our interviews on the Tuesday night, but we can't because Anne will be drunk. The bowling club across the road.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, thank you for missing us, Andrew. Hi, Tash. So, what was your highlight of the Germany-Prague trip?
I remember that when I got off the bus, got out of all of that loud noise and everything, and we sat down at that table in Heidelberg and had a look at the old city, and we just kind of went, oh, we're here. That was a really nice point in time, because it was just beautiful to come into that really old city, into that old square, and just be able, I think that's where we had crepes. Or pancakes. We had pancakes.
Yes.
And it was just lovely to sit there and watch everything go by, and know that we're not stressing out to get back on the bus or to, move our bags or whatever. We can just sit there for as long as we like and just enjoy that. So that was really awesome. I loved going into Bavaria. Bavaria is just stunning. stunning, running around and trying to take as many photos as possible is kind of not the best way to do it. You'd like to really sort of enjoy it a little bit. But I think some of the spots that you thought were going to be amazing weren't as amazing as some of the spots you weren't counting on being amazing, which they were, if you know what I mean.
So what was your favourite place? The Heidelberg Square?
It was one of my favourite places. I loved the ossuary because we'd waited so long to get in there.
The Sedlec ossuary. Oh, my Lord, that was fabulous.
Yeah.
Just seeing all those bones formed into sculptures and altars and to be there.
You kind of don't think they're real.
Yeah.
It's like it's because it's so beautifully set out, you kind of forget that it's
Robert.
real, absolutely real.
Good.
So, yeah, it's one of those things you've got to wrap your head around.
It is. And we went to Cinderella's castle, and we went to Hauske Castle. We went to Frankenstein's castle. We did some very quirky tours in the Czech Republic in Prague with that little museum and things. At one stage, I said, that's it, I'm done. I'm finding a coffee shop. I'm going to sit here in the air conditioning because it was hot. It was really, oh, don't know what happened there. Yeah, it was really, really hot.
It was hot. We were tired.
Favourite castle?
And favourite castle.
I think for me it was House.
You know which one it was. It was that one in that little village that we came in really early.
Is that where you were sitting there holding the man?
Yes. Oh, I really
was that Wolfseg? No, it wasn't Wolfseg.
Yeah, Wolf something or other.
Yeah.
I really liked that one. It was in this tiny village, and obviously at some point in time it was kind of surrounded by land, but now it's surrounded by houses, and the houses go all the way up
Got
to
your question, Sam. Thank you.
Literally the entrance of the castle. And look, in castle states, it was probably one of the tiniest castles we went into. But it was awesome. It was awesome.
Freaking hot.
Yeah.
I'm just highlighting some of the Saint of Spinsters. You're right. That was in Germany, and there was a saint. It was one of the sacred relics.
Oh yes, the one with all the
encrusted in jewels.
Encrusted in jewels. I showed a friend that a couple of days ago, and she could not believe that was real.
Yeah.
And I kind of say, oh, it is. It's real.
All right. We have got Sam with a question. What are some of the biggest things ghosts hate? Probably us pestering them to do something and asking them questions all the time.
I would say that is true, Sam.
And possibly, it's hard to know because we've never actually been able to have a long conversation with one.
That would be a good question to ask. What do you hate?
Yeah,
we'll ask that question. We'll start to ask that question because that's a really good question. You know, what do you hate?
Yeah.
They might hate being dead. They might hate that and kind of go, I wish I was alive again. Don't know. Being pestered by us, that is a guaranteed.
Although we've got a good relationship with some of the entities in Maitland Jail now. They seem to work with us quite regularly, which is nice.
Any cakes in Bavaria? Is that an ongoing joke, the cakes in Bavaria?
Well, people bought us coffees and they said, make sure you buy some cakes. And we did. We had a few. We had a lot of strudel.
Oh, strudel everywhere. And then we bought this one thing in Prague that looks like a rolled up donut. It's like the casing is like a donut casing, and inside you can either have whipped cream or you can have ice cream.
Or Nutella.
And you've got Nutella inside as well. And, yeah, you can get sprinkles on the top and whatever. But I've got to say, one's enough. I wouldn't go get a
And,
second one.
I mean, the one we got wasn't that nice, and it was
No.
$12 each, and we found out around the corner they were about $5 each.
Oh, those big places there are some of the biggest rip-off places ever if you don't know where to go. Oh, jeez.
And I had studied a lot leading up to, because I knew that Czech Republic could be an issue. Joanne, thank you so much. That is so generous of you. We really appreciate that. Thank you. You are one of our biggest supporters, and we really appreciate it. Sorry, what were we talking about? Yeah, there was one thing I wanted to try was what they call a plate restaurant, and Renata came with me.
Oh, God.
And I'd seen it on this honest tour guide, and it's really cheap. You go in, and basically the queue was out the door, and we got in the queue. We patiently waited. Renata was so patient waiting with me. It was something I really wanted to do, and she was patient. I think I would have chucked the poos if it was me. Anyway, got in there, and it was air conditioned, thankfully. And eventually there was pictures up everywhere, and you sort of pointed to what you wanted. And I had some sort of chicken paprika or something like that with pasta, and you had a chicken schnitzel with potato salad.
Potato salad. Yeah.
And when I got the bill, there was all these extra charges on there. And I go, what are all these? And it turned out that because we'd got a drink in a bottle, like I'd asked for mineral water in a bottle, I was charged an extra €2 because I didn't get it in a glass. Renata got a Coke in a bottle, so she was charged extra as well.
I got charged for the potato salad.
She got charged extra for the potato
which was
salad.
supposed to come with the meal. It was supposed to come with the meal. And then we got charged a serving fee.
Yeah. And they didn't serve us, apart from over the counter slopping it on a plate.
Yeah, which kind of defeats the fact that you're walking around with a plate and kind of, the old dining systems where you sort of walk around and you point to whatever you want, like the clubs. But the best thing of all is this place is chock-a-block full, packed, right? And we're walking around trying to find a place, and two ladies actually said, would you like to come and sit here? And we should have gone yes, but I thought maybe we'll find somewhere where there is nobody else. There's nobody else. I remember. And so we sat down where this little old lady was sitting there drinking a beer, right? And I thought, how much longer could she be? Well, she had one tooth in her head and her boobs were down to her knees. And she's talking to us in Czech the whole time. And she's telling Anne to push the drink in to the table.
She didn't like where I'd put the drink because she thought it was too close to the edge of the table and someone might have knocked it. It was nowhere near the edge of or she wanted me to put it on the tray or off the tray. I don't know, but I'm going to Renata what she's saying. Because she's picking up bits and pieces because Polish was fairly similar. Oh, that was a scary moment.
And then, of course, she's wanting to talk more. She's just wanting to talk. I'm sure she goes there because there's people, and she might be able to talk to someone. But it was like we just want to sit and eat and get out of here. Honestly, we just want to get out of here. But yeah, that was our plate experience.
Dave said we should have just done a runner. Hi, Jules. How are you doing? I hope you're okay. I hope things are okay for you. All right, so I'm going to go back up to some of the questions. Techie question, if you have a REM pod that is going bonkers with the constant solid tones and you think it's faulty and swap it out with a millimeter and it does the same thing, what are the steps to debunk? Okay, so the first thing with REM pods and millimeters is sometimes you can overextend the aerial on them, and that seems to give a false reading, and all of the lights will go off. Another thing is that if the battery is starting to go flat, it will start to alarm and go through all the different tones and then hold the sound of the tones. So I would be checking the battery, and I would also be checking to see whether the aerial is overextended. The other thing you can do is move it into a slightly different location. First off, say thank you so much for working with the equipment. I'd like to try an experiment if you'd like to work with me. Could you, I'm going to move it over to here. Could you make the device or the box make the sounds again? See if it will make it in a new area. Another way to work with it is to say to them, if it's still in the same spot, thank you so much for all the work, for working with my equipment that I have here. Could you just step back from that now so that I know that you can hear me? And if you then get it to stop, and this happened to us at the residence, then the noise stops. You go, wow, thank you so much. Just to continue with our experiment, just step close to it again, and then I'll know it's your energy. And you work with them that way instead of the good old, can you do that again? Can you do that again? Can you do that again? That's one of the things that annoy ghosts, I think. But
show us a sign.
Give us a sign, spirit. All right, so thank you, Dave. That is an awesome question. I think I forgot to put it on the screen. But
no, you did.
I did. Yep. Okay, well, I'll just unstar that and take it off. Oh, thank you, Eric. Yeah. He's not in pain anymore, so that makes me happy for him. Oh, thank you, Erin. Going on investigation Saturday night as an empath. Is there anything I should do or not be doing while I'm there? I suppose it depends on the type of experience you want to have. Over to Renata.
You can, look, I don't know how experienced you are, Erin. If you are going on an investigation and it's your first time, just go in slowly. Don't be open to everything and really trying to get your senses, push your senses out and try and sense everything. You might find that you're overwhelmed, or that it's a little bit hard going because, again, depending on how many people are going to be there at the investigation will depend on how you interact or react to certain things. So just more than anything, enjoy what is going on and sort of be in that frame of mind that if you feel something or sense something, awesome. If you don't, that's fine too. You're having a really great time experiencing the site. Sometimes we can get too wound up with really trying to sense things while we're at these places, and we end up not enjoying anything. We don't get a handle on where we actually are, what we're seeing, what everyone else is experiencing, all of that. There's so many layers when you're doing an investigation. So unless you are specifically asked to be the empath and to share your experiences, because that is your job, my suggestion is just take it nice and cool and just kind of go, if I experience something, I do. If I don't, I don't. It doesn't make me any worse or any better. But also, if you have a special way of opening up and closing down, then please do that as well. So if you want to open up to the spirits and say, spirits, I am here, I'm willing to make a connection with you. And then at the end of the night, I remove all my permissions for any further conversation or connection. And as I walk away, please, I ask you to step back so that you can be back in your safe place and I can move back into my world. That's an awesome thing to do as well, just to create boundaries for yourself and to learn to do that. Other than that, don't overthink the whole process of protecting yourself with 1,000 things, because you will not feel anything, because you will be so overprotected with crystals and saging and all of that sort of stuff that you've just created this huge block and you'll get nothing. And the ghosties will go, what's she doing?
She's too much work. I'm going away from her.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. And I do believe you are sitting on the toilet right now watching us. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, Eric.
But thank
Hope
you
it helps.
The condolences. What else have we got there? Daisy, smell cigarette smoke in my house. I'm sure it's my dad, but I'd love to know how to confirm it. You ask for a specific sign, I suppose.
You can, but I don't want you to be. So this is
overthinking it.
Yeah, this is one of these things where we can overthink all of this and then get really upset when we don't get an answer. and go, am I doing something wrong? Is something going on? And, we can get ourselves into such a state of anxiety by wanting so much clarity. Yeah. I think if you smell cigarette smoke in your house and your mind goes to your dad and you get a sense of calmness around that, just kind of stick with that and be with that. We are so adamant at asking for all of these signs all the time. Give me another sign. Give me another sign. Give me some more clarity. Give me something else that's 100% that it is like I can't dispute that. And you know what? More often than not, that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. So I just want you to stay with this sort of feeling that is dad. That's my sign. Yeah, whether it's a subconscious thing or whatever, that's that sign that you need that sense of calmness and protection around you that he would have given you. He would want that anyway. And it makes it easier on both sides, for you and for your dad, because that might be a strain for him to just even give you that as a cigarette smoke smell, and you're asking for something else. So
yeah, there is a pop-up Ghost Hunting 101 at Maitland Jail tomorrow night, because everything they had for us was booked out. So we've put in a whole heap of extra little dates, but there is still some spots left for tomorrow night. So if you want to jump on, jump on. I don't know why. Every time you pick up your cup of coffee, I think what you're doing is you're knocking this, which is then setting that off. So I'll just try to get that out of the road, and hopefully that will stop doing that.
Sorry.
That's okay. I've got a screen opening up that it shouldn't. Have I felt my dad about? No, I haven't. I think that would be too soon, so to speak. But every time I go to his house, I'm talking to him and I'm pretending he's there anyway, and congratulating him on getting a free ambulance ride or not having, because we got a bill for the ambulance the other day, and because he's on the gold DVA, he was in the Navy for many years. He doesn't pay for it, but it was when I was away, so the kids didn't know to say it was a gold DVA. He doesn't. So I got this $400 bill, and I've rung up the ambulance and said, "Oh, here's his number," and they said, "Not a problem." So I'm going, "Dad, you got another free one?" Because he used to love getting things free. So yeah, I just talked to him like he's there. What else was there? Sabina, I hope so. I hope, because he knows I'm into this stuff. So I hope at some stage or other he actually does give me a really good solid sign that he is about. But it's all very quiet at the moment. He fell asleep and passed, so it might take him a little while to realise what's going on. But we do have his demented 15-year-old golden retriever over here.
But she's doing so well.
She is doing really well. She's probably lost about 2 kilos already, because she's probably about 10 kilos overweight. And yeah, she sleeps outside all the time. Dad used to leave the door open for her all the time. She would still sleep outside, even in the rain. She was a rescue dog. Dad had him for 6 years, and I think they always made them sleep out. But she's starting to come inside here, so that's nice. What's the craziest experience you've ever had while ghost hunting, dealing with humans?
Yes.
Hearing very clear footsteps walking across the in A-wing for me, hearing like the heel to the walking towards you, and you know there's no one there. That's quite weird.
It's bizarre and thrilling at the same time.
Yeah. The house that I had the REM pods go off one after the other going down the stairs. And then the last one didn't go off, and it's because we'd forgotten to turn it on. That was cool. Getting scratched across the arse in the car park of a cemetery when my jeans are all done up and there's no possible way I could have got a slice across my arse. Was very cool. Spooky girl, how can I make sure at my fur baby spirit come with me to my new place? I don't want to leave the spirit behind. They're with you. They're not with the house. So they will go with you wherever.
And just take their bowl of water or their favourite toy or their bed with you. and they will follow.
Yeah.
So
They
just
will
pop
follow
it
you.
somewhere for a while, depending on whether you actually ever want to put it away or leave it out. But it will be there, and they will come. Yeah.
Jody wants to know, is Oz Paratech going to get the strip lights in the shop? So there's two sorts. There is the tripwire, which is the one with the little EMF meters in it. And there is the one from Ghost Stop, which has the long strips. I will eventually get those ones. I don't think they're released to the distributors yet, as is the Ovilus. I can't get that either. And I'm hoping it's not the price that I saw that's listed. Like, for me to even get it into Australia is going to be well over $1,000. I hope it's not that price. The same style you've got.
Yeah, I know. And mine's broken.
Oh no. We'll send it back to Bill and get it fixed. At the moment, buy the tripwire directly from the people that sell it, because he can't offer enough of a discount for me to be able to resell it here in Australia. You'd be getting it cheaper directly from him than what I could sell it for and actually make some money on it. By the time I pay for postage and GST, it's not worth it for me at the moment. I would love to sell his gear. I love his gear. Good question. Thank you, Jody. Can you please send a blessing for Callum and Danny as they're moving into their new home in 2 weeks? When she'll get back from... Oh, she's in Kilimanjaro. I remember she was going to do that. Wow. Everyone send some stars and some... Oh, it's not stars, hearts. Send some hearts in for Callum and Danny. And Eric, been thinking of doing Monte Cristo house for her birthday. My advice is, if you want to do Monte Cristo, I would do it soon. Because once they lose Olive, I don't know what's going to happen. Because there is a lot of family involved, and I think they'll want to sell it or do something with it. And yeah, I would go soon. It's a grand old house, and there is so many interesting artifacts in there. And I certainly had an interesting photo from there. And Lawrence is a great storyteller of all the stories and the history of the house. Please don't be expecting 5-star accommodation when you go to stay.
But you get a schnitty.
You get a schnitty. I didn't get sheets on my bed, but that's okay. You remember that?
Yes. I think Olive was a bit, yeah.
Yeah, poor Olive.
Yeah. It's only so much Olive can do, for goodness sake. How old is she? 125 or something?
Oh,
yeah.
thank you, Tammy. Yeah, it's about that.
Poor darling.
That's it. See, Sky's got it. The specific sign is it cuddles both elbows at the same time.
Oh,
that's beautiful.
That's awesome.
It did. I thought it was hilarious. It's her that thought it was gross. How you going, Seth? There's some more up here. Let me get back up. Do some ghosts get annoyed when there is too much laughter, or are they okay with it and realize the respect is still there? I think they love laughter. Laughter is positive energy.
As long as you're not laughing
at them or making fun of them.
sarcastically, yeah, or you're making fun of them. I think, like you, that laughter in a fun way, where you're joking and having a good laugh and have got a sense of humour, is something that really lifts energies and it brings them closer. I think people are so damn serious when they do this sometimes that they're just, they're like me, they get bored and you go, oh God, this again. They don't mind a dirty joke every so often, but they don't want to be the joke. Yeah, it's not about them being the joke. It's about joking with them.
Yeah. Hi, John. Oh, that's beautiful. All right. Just scrolling. Oh, yes, we have done 30 East Drive. Have you listened to our podcast on 30 East Drive, on True Hauntings podcast?
Oh, maybe don't listen to it until you've
No,
had the
no, because
experience.
this was historically, we think there was something going on, but not what they thought it was. So
Right.
maybe listen to it after.
So, Leanne, we have a podcast called the True Hauntings Podcast. You can get it on Spotify and iTunes. And we did do a podcast episode on 30 East Drive. So please, please, please go and listen to it. Like all the others, it's pretty hilarious. But it'll be up to you whether you want to listen to it first or after, because we don't want to influence you. We don't want to influence what you're preparing yourself for, Leanna.
Just be aware if the lady next door is involved.
Yeah, and she wants you to buy something for £10 before you go in. Don't.
All right. So, oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's very kind of you. We really appreciate that. Was that your cute kitty? Oh,
It's a pussycat.
What is NOK? What currency is that? That's very interesting. But thank you. So we did that one. Oh, yeah, I'm still a bit asthmatic. Callie and Co, do you do serious seances together?
All seances are serious, Callie and Co. But yes, we do. Yes.
Oh no, we do some that are light-hearted in nature as well, but we do serious ones where we used to do the seance parlor. We just physically don't have the time to do it at the moment because it knocks you around a little bit. It's very draining physically and mentally to sustain a link for 90 minutes and be also looking after the people in the room who may be dealing with grief, which at the moment's a difficult place for me to be when I'm dealing with it myself. We've actually got the Wyong Milk Factory Messages from Spirit show next Wednesday night, which it's going to be interesting for me because we deal with people's grief a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in that state myself, so we'll see. We're not going to cancel it. We're going to do it.
Yeah, you'll have to go right back to the very beginning. It's probably in the first 20 episodes, I think.
Oh, you've heard about the neighbours knocking on the wall.
You haven't heard it from us, right? You did hear it from us.
I didn't want to spoil it for you. What was her name? I can't remember what her name was.
Oh, I don't know, but because someone won't be happy.
If it's Trisha, we'll just say, if you hear knocking on the wall, just go, "Is that you, Trisha?" That would be hilarious. I would love to do it. It didn't happen when we were there.
No,
we got one knock. And the people next to me practically shit their pants when they heard that knock.
They were really young. They were creeped out completely. Yeah. Oh dear.
Eric, also creepy thing. I was on a live video with someone on Facebook and they used a white noise box and the noise box said Eric and don't, then mentioned Christine, which is my sister, then don't. So confused if it was my mum or dad coming through as I was the only Eric there. So did anyone else hear that through the white noise or was it just you?
Mm.
Because if it was just you, you've heard that as a telepathic thing, which is when I discovered that was a possibility, when somebody heard all this stuff coming through the spirit box and none of us heard it, and we realized that she was getting a direct message telepathically and she thought it was coming through the spirit box.
Yeah.
I lived in a very active house 8 or so years ago. I heard once during the day a very loud voice say a name very loudly. Twice in alarm was the surname of a neighbour. 5 years after that daylight experience, that neighbour is in custody for suspected murder. Thoughts on it being a spiritual warning. 5 years is a long time between that and a warning. Is it possible that you could have actually heard somebody calling out their name, like physically calling out their name?
We as human beings try and connect the dots for everything. So we're always looking for ways of being able to
Patterns.
create some sort of information from randomness. So it could have been, but as Anne said, 5 years is a really, really long time. The neighbour is in custody for a suspected murder. It could have linked, that event could have linked back to you hearing that voice. It could have been something else. It could have been something really random. Yeah, Faye, can't pinpoint that. Would love to say, yes, absolutely, Spirit talked to you and told you.
And there will be people who will do that.
But, I don't want to say that just because you hear it, you want me to say that. Yeah, we don't know. Just don't know.
We can only give you our thoughts on it. Oh, hot, cold, hot, cold. Thank you, Joanne. We do like our podcasts. And yeah, somebody said they're looking forward to the vampire one that's coming up. Have we had any aggressive or not happy entities?
No, never come across.
Restaurant.
You've come across. Well, yeah, we've both kind of had an experience with one experience. I had an experience with an energy that was not quite happy because we crossed a boundary, and so I had to sort of kind of apologise and fix that up, and then it was fine. You had an issue at hospital up in the Blue Mountains, wasn't it? Yeah. So it's a rarity more than something that happens all the time.
More often than not, what is happening is being misinterpreted as being aggressive or nasty. Like if they hear 3 knocks, people go, "Oh, that's mocking the Trinity," and it's not. It's just 3 knocks. Or somebody might get scratched or pushed, or and it's not that they've really been hurt, but that it scared them, and maybe they're just clumsily trying to get your attention somehow or other. Oh, I like that. Leanne said they're going to knock back. Well, Sky, they didn't like it so much last time. We had a whinger, and it's put us off a little bit even going back to do it, because they put in a big complaint that we picked the same people all the time, and one person got 3 readings, and it wasn't fair. So we had a bit of a Karen attack.
Yeah. You had an adult saying it's not fair. I didn't get a go. They were slightly inebriated, but you know.
Hello, Matt. How are you? Thank you, Matt. There's your puppies.
What's Daisy saying there?
Oh.
My sister was using a phone app for ghost hunting, and it came up with my check the map and my name. I love maps, and I've been looking at one for the area that day. Okay, interesting.
We ask spirits so many questions, but there is still so much that is a mystery. Yes. Do spirits need to initiate and open portals, or are those already in place, for example? Different schools of thought.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at the stuff that has already been gathered together as evidence, if we call it evidence, in many cases, Lisa, the spirits are actually reaching out to us. So you're going to find a lot of people have random connections, and even back 150 years ago or so, it was the random connectedness of being in a place at the right time with the right environmental conditions for a spirit to seem to reach out. Because a lot of people are going, well, I've got nothing, I've got no interest in this, or I wasn't seeking it, or whatever, and yet I got some sort of an experience happening. So it's a whole lot of things, I think, that we still don't understand that make it happen.
And we can't, like, the information that comes through, and this is what worries me sometimes with seances and messages from spirit world, is that people will take it as the absolute gospel truth of what must happen. And I don't think you can do that. You can take it as advice or take it as a possibility and then use your own discernment as whether that sits right for you or not. Yeah, it's you ask good questions, Lisa. Claire Marie jumping on to say, I love you, ladies. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're certainly over all our colds and flus. If parents wouldn't die, that would be even better, but that's life. You know, I have found it actually very interesting being in my line of work and not having the fear surrounding death as some others would.
Mm.
Like because I saw my dad on the Wednesday night and I knew he was going to pass. So I just saw the signs and I knew. And I was like, okay, I think this is going to happen in the next couple of days. And I still, I don't know. I was like, if he goes, it's okay. I'm okay with that because I know this isn't the end. And I don't mean that in a religious way. I just mean that his energy will still be around somehow or other. I just won't be able to see him physically anymore or talk to him and hear his response easily. So it's been a very interesting journey for me as a paranormal investigator to lose someone very close to me. And I want to give a big shout out to Tony, who has been such a huge, fantastic grand poobah to us for so long. Tony, we thank you so much from the bottom of our black little hearts. You have been such a generous Patreon to us, and we really appreciate it. I hope everything is going well for you. What is the clicking noise? It could be our microphones.
It could be microphones.
We've got microphones
hitting.
on us here.
Yeah.
We've got that sort of thing happening there. Leanne said, well, thoughts on phone apps for ghost hunting? Very apprehensive because our phones are always listening. Exactly. So when you are downloading an app, before you do so, there is somewhere that it will say the permissions it wants to use from your phone. I am suspicious of anything that needs to access my location or anything that needs to access the microphone. A good way to use them is to put them into aeroplane mode. And if they'll still work on aeroplane mode and still give you good output or constructive answers, sorry, words are getting hard, intelligent responses to your questions, then I find them interesting. Because spirit is energy, allegedly. Phones run off energy, off power. Why not? We can only try, and we've had some astounding results with Spirit Talker.
Again, don't take everything to heart. And, you know, when these things spit out words like demon or run or whatever, look, honestly, treat it lightheartedly. Like if we ever hear get out or run, we go, oh, no, too old for that. Sorry, we're staying here. That's our first response. We don't go, oh, my God, we've got to get out of this place. If we get a sense that we've overstayed our welcome, it kind of comes a little bit differently. But you've got to be careful with some of those apps that they have some words just popped into their word banks, and you can't become over anxious if the word demon comes out, because it's eventually going to, and it's probably going to be in a spot where you kind of least expect it, and then you're going to poop your pants because it said demon, where it's probably just a word that's come out in the word bank and from the word bank, and you just kind of go, oh, no, not really. No.
Or it's a dickhead spirit that's trying to scare you.
Yeah.
And then they get the energy off that. Like in the jail, they'll come up with words like that all the time. And I'm sure they think it's hilarious. And we have a laugh with them and they seem to enjoy it. So I know a lot of ghost hunters would have the word demon and go, oh, it said demon! And that gets good ratings. Anyway. What if spirit phenomena is kinetic manifestations from our subconscious and not external entities. Oh, Matt, I love you. I'm going to put you and Lisa in a room together.
Well, Matt, that is absolutely true.
Absolutely right.
What if they are manifestations of our mind? What if we are creating all of this stuff? What always gets me, though, is profound information. And I was reading about this actually from a book on poltergeists last night. Right. So there's this one instance, for example, where something was happening in a house and the poltergeist energy could tell the people that were in the house what the date was on the coins in someone's pocket, right? And you go, right, okay, why and how? Well, number one, how does the spirit know what dates are in someone's coins in their pocket? And why would, if it's a manifestation from us, would we have searched through our pockets and noted the dates on coins before that happened? No, we wouldn't. We've got a ton of coins in our pockets or in our bags. The last time I looked at a date, I don't think I ever have, unless I've had to. So you kind of go, how does that happen then? How does that happen? Just for one. If it's a manifestation from us, then it's got to be coming from a collection of memories or a collection of thoughts or whatever. It's brought up as something that is externalized. Okay, you're thinking of grandma. You know grandma really well. You know she liked apple pie, or whatever it is. You may have forgotten it because it happened 45 years ago, but it comes out in however it does. But things that are really odd, things that kind of are really like, why would you want to know that piece of information, or how do you know that piece of information, is really, really unique. That's what I want to know.
And some of us who may actually have psi abilities where you are able to manipulate energy or move objects with your mind, and you don't even know, is that you're really wanting. So what Matt's saying, what if it's us that's creating this movement, this sound, these effects, because we have these abilities? And this is what a lot of the parapsychologists are thinking, is that the humans are creating these ghost effects, not spirits, not an entity. But I just wanted to show you all those coins that since my dad's passed, I have been finding coins all over the ground, everywhere. And in the back of my mind, I went, oh, that's right. Somebody said that, that could be a sign from spirit, but it's probably not. I've just been rushing around trying to do so much stuff, and I'm distracted. I've been trying to unpack bags, and I was going to the hospital every day, and then I've been sort of trying to do paperwork and shut down accounts, and I'm probably pulling things out of my pocket and dropping crap everywhere. So I don't even see it. So who knows? Is it a sign from my dad, or is it just me running around? Yeah, who knows?
Okay, a few more minutes.
Yep.
We're going to finish up.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just glad that he went before the dog died, because that would have killed him. We were going to have to tell him after this trip to the hospital he was going to have to go into a home. We never had to tell him, so I'm really grateful about that as well. And that he got to be in his own home. And the other thing I was really glad about is I made it home before he passed, because my kids were trying to get him to the hospital and he was refusing to go. He was being very cantankerous. And there was a few things I was very grateful with his passing. Yeah, I had Zozo come up on the Ouija board as well, but the other people didn't know about it, so they had no fear whatsoever, and shut the board down. Nothing ever happened. But I think if they had known about it, there would have been fear generated, and then we would have started noticing bad things that were happening around us and assumed it was all to do with Zozo. What if we're in a miniature time slip and we hear, smell, but not see the other people in the same spot in another year? Yeah. Possibility.
Hey, aliens are real, so what else is real? Throw that in the mix.
Matt, we have to get you on to talk about all of that stuff we've been talking about with
Yes,
Steve
Matt.
on
Absolutely.
Spooky Sunday. So it'd be really good to have a conversation because I know you've actually got some amazing footage that you've put up and has been used by a show. Beck, thank you so much. Please excuse my voice is starting to go. Did you see us all on the Gruen transfer? Renata and I were on the Gruen transfer for Temu.
For 2 seconds.
It was great. It was so tongue-in-cheek. Hi, Lisa. How are you? It's a sign from a dad. Oh, bless you. Yeah, that's right. If it brings you peace and you believe whatever you want to believe in, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. Yeah, we've got a new website. If you all check that out, there's a little bit of merch on there at the moment which you can get, and we're getting some really good feedback on the quality of the merch, which is wonderful. Out of the box thinking, I heard a theory about using a sketch spirit using the electromagneticness to draw the iron filings on the screen. What do you think? It's worth trying. Why not?
It's a good idea.
In the age of spiritualism, they actually used to have chalk and slate, and they would put the two pieces of slate together with a piece of chalk, and they would bind it up, and then they'd unwrap it at the end, and there'd be some message scrawled on it. So the thing is, we don't have the answers to anything at all, so just keep trying stuff. I'm all for it. Eric, I can't get Eric's comment up. Have you been watching the news lately? I think we're in for a big revelation.
Yeah, Eric, go and have a look at what's happening over in America in the White House and everything. And the revelations over there that an alleged whistleblower, and that's a really wrong word for him, that is very, very high up in the armed services is talking about. Ooh-ah.
Your coffee cup is travel with us not broken. What is you're speaking of? Are you saying that our buy me a cup of coffee is broken? Because I noticed we haven't had any in ages. I'll have to have a look. And I'll get that sorted. I'll just do that. So do you want to tell people anything while I'm just quickly searching this?
I did see another comment there about the oracle cards and you not being able to get to the oracle cards. They should be on our webpage, and you should be able to get to the oracle cards on the webpage and order from there. So try Anne and Renata Frightfully Good webpage, and you should have a page with merchandise, and you can click on there and buy a pack of cards. So should be fine.
Yeah, some people have been buying them, so that's the link. It just worked then when I went and clicked on it. Is that the spiritualist guy that talks about that?
No. This is a member of a very high-ranking member of the armed services over in America. I think he's Air Force.
And there's a lady. There's a lady as well. Yeah. It's a little bit.
And this is all in Congress, so this is all kind of all documented and everything. So, yeah, very interesting.
Oh, you bought our coffee cup and have the morning coffee in the caravan, not broken. Right. I wasn't speaking. That speak very well. Blue book. Yeah. All right. How are we doing, Renata?
There we're going.
We're done.
We're done.
I've held up better than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, you did.
I did good.
You did.
We're going to try and do our best with the True Hauntings podcast to get out as many as we can, but there might be a couple of gaps just because I'm dealing with a lot of stuff with my father's estate because I am the executor and I'm the only family he really had apart from his grandkids. So my time is getting taken up with that. I didn't realize there was so much to do. So please forgive us if we drop the ball. Renata's trying to push through and keep doing some more, but I won't let her do it without me.
Trying to make it easy for her.
I know you're trying to help, but I just it's got to be both of us. I think our audience will wait for us to do both if we need to drop a week.
Well, we lost our shit in this new one, so there you go.
We did. We did. All right. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for coming back. I think that's Renata's biggest fear is that if we're not on, you guys will go find someone better and leave us.
Yes.
They won't love us anymore. But we are here and we will be back. I'm not sure. We've got not New Orleans. We've got Norfolk Island next week. And then we're home for 3 weeks. And then we're off to New Orleans to do the trip that we are running. So we're looking after a whole busload of people and taking them to all the spooky places around New Orleans, which we'll try to do some lives, especially for our Grand Poobahs. Thank you to all the new Grand Poobahs who have joined in this last week as well.
Yes, thank you so much.
Love yous all. See yous on the dark side.
Stay spooky.
And
Don't be a dickhead.